and welcome to Sketchbook Tour number 16. It has been 1 month since I've started using this sketchbook here. So I think that a month a sketchbook is quite a good speed, or not that it's about speed, but it's a good way of for me to see how much I draw. My aim is to draw as much as possible in my sketchbook, drawing my surroundings, drawing ideas, sketching is my way of improving my art, so as much as I possibly can. So 1 month for this sketchbook, this thickness here, is a good milestone. This sketchbook here is from Hanemühle. I love to draw in it, and the thing that is special about this book is that it has toned paper, and drawing in this book reminded me how fun it is to draw in toned paper. This is called cappuccino, so the pages are kind of cappuccino-ish toned. And the reason is that, as you will see, I've been using white in it to create a highlight tone. So it just adds a whole new dimension to your drawings when you have toned paper as a middle tone already, and then you can use black for dark tone and white for a lighter tone. Let's dive into it. And to any newcomers out there, this might seem very messy, and this time around it's even more messy, maybe because I embraced the approach of being completely free in my sketchbook, as Thomas Espedal is in his notebooks, which I made a little video about. So here I just taped in stuff. This was from an Easter lunch actually, and try to be as free as possible. It doesn't matter what you draw in there. Scribbles, swatching. This just allows you to not being scared about anything, but just create, which is the important thing. You can also write in it, as you see here. This was from an art exhibition, and this over here is the very first approach to drawing Kurt, a character to a new children's book. Peacock, and over here a doodle that was the inspiration for a mural I just created, and once again an important reminder of how much I just love doodles, because they are sometimes the strongest drawings you get, which you just get from out of nowhere, it feels sometimes. So I gotta make a video about that sometimes, how you can use your doodles. This here is a creepy drawing of my daughter, and this here is my mother. And yes, she looks very old here. She didn't like this drawing at all. She wasn't fond of it, which I can understand, because once I start going in and drawing, try to give shape to cheekbones and all that, and try to draw her wrinkles and all that, one can quickly become old. But this one is much more fun actually. Rather fast doodles in the evening, as I wrote up here, late night doodles. This reminded me of kind of the body of the Emperor's Groove, the guy who's not the Emperor, I can't remember his name right now, Pacho, but kind of his features, just with this weird white beards here. This was a beautiful day out with my wife and my daughter. We were going to watch elephants actually in the zoo, but they weren't out, so we just went on the trail, and then my daughter started picking up things, and I just sat down and drew while my wife was sitting on a bench. I think she was knitting maybe, and then my daughter suddenly just started bringing things to me that I could draw, and it was just a magical day where we just sat there for an hour. And this is over here is from the Hateful Eight, and this is again from the same day where we were drawing. This is probably my favorite drawing of this whole book. I love the composition. And I start here to realize how amazing it is to draw with the white pen on these pages here. And this is just, the white here is actually an Inktense, just a white Inktense from Derwent. And you could also use a white color pencil. My wife's, one of her loafers. This was a thing that had fallen off a tree. Can't remember the species nor the exact thing. Is it a fruit or I don't know, flower? My daughter. This was the first day where I thought I should make an experiment about how many days I could go without drinking coffee and instead drink tea, for instance, rooibos tea. Do you know how many days I lasted? 0 days. And cheers and coffee, by the way. These are from a TV series called Rogue Heroes. Bit stupid American show, but I've always been a bit drawn to the, I guess, heroes and the masculinity, this universe of war in some way. The things that they put themselves through. This was one of them where I paused the show and drew this guy. It just looks kind of dramatic with his cloth here over the head in the wind and then the sign behind him. I like the composition. And here you can really tell how the white, you can achieve some quite wonderful effects using the white here for highlights. Same here for the conch. Dogs. Try to figure out how they work, the anatomy. Need to dive more into it. A little skull study. See the colors I used. Pastel, warm red, pastel white, pencil, Inktense white. been more and more difficult for me to sit and sketch without my daughter having the feeling of just adding her art into my sketchbooks. I don't mind. Some pages I'd like to keep safe though, such as this one maybe. But otherwise I don't mind. Yeah, so here down I'm trying to get into drawing a dog park also, which has to do with the sketch, or the children's book that I'm making sketches for at the moment. So this is why you see so many dogs and fences in my sketchbook here. One day I was making tomato soup and then I decided to draw all the ingredients before I started to cook. Just quick drawing, 5 minutes. These are from a Monday Doodle. The character I'm working with is a bone, like a meat bone. One of the most difficult characters I've ever worked with, I think, because he's a bone, you know, there's not much space, flexibility, so I have to invent that flexibility. And he's also white, so it's difficult to give him some colors that make him pop. I could of course also go forth and just make him, you know, purple or I don't know, green or something like that, but yeah. I think maybe his nose will have a color eventually. That was the very last page. And yes, if you're curious to try this out with the white as a highlighter, I can really recommend it. And Hanemühle is, I think, my favorite brand of sketchbooks. High quality, great paper quality, and yeah, great sketchbook. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time, have fun drawing.